For a video game company that doesn't create a lot of horror games, namely basically none ever, Nintendo sure has a lot of ghosts and spooky / ghastly characters. This is a list of my top 10 ghosts in Nintendo games.
Hello?
It's probably inevitable that Luigi's Mansion is well represented in this list. It just makes sense. The game was released in 2001, around the same time that Nintendo was working closely with Resident Evil creator Capcom. The main boss of the first area is pure nightmare fuel. 2-story tall baby attacks you relentlessly, shortly after this endearing moment. I'm convinced that Chauncey grew up to be Mr. X. The Donkey Kong family lineage is altogether not accompanied by a lot of certainty. One thing we do know is that Wrinkly Kong is the wife of Cranky and passes on somewhere between Donkey Kong Country 3 and DK64. In the latter, she serves as a helpful guide to the Kongs, providing information as they collect bananas, golden bananas, and more bananas. Just so many bananas. They could probably share some, but I don't think they do. The original Animal Crossing was revolutionary when it came out because it used the internal clock on the GameCube, meaning that the time in the game world was the same as the time in the real world. Essentially, you can shop, catch bugs, fish, and decorate your house in real time, all in hopes of suppressing the reality that is the cruel tyranny of, by far the most evil video game villain in all existence. You could find Wisp wandering your town between 12 and 4 AM, and if you assisted him in collecting 5 spirits, he rewards you handsomely, even giving you the option to remove all the weeds in your town. Useful for those returning to the game after a 14-year hiatus. Everybody loves Mario Kart. Getting those gold cups in Grand Prix, and split-screen races / battles are cherished memories for me, but perhaps the bulk of my time has been spent in time trial mode, trying to beat my personal best in the form of ghosts, alongside staff ghosts themselves. These are on-screen representatives of the creator's best times on each track. Doubles Dash was my childhood Mario Kart, and it was always fulfilling defeating said staff ghost. Cherished memories indeed. Shivers the Wandering Butler is the worst thing about Luigi's Mansion. That guy. Freaked me out as a kid. You light his candle, and then he does this unendearing saunter down the hallway. It continues quite a while, eventually reaching his butler's room where you simply can't end the fight soon enough. I'm not a fan. Pikmin are adorable and loyal creatures that do anything for the survival of Captain Olimar, fight his battles, carry his vehicle, even lay down their own lives for him. And it's that sacrifice and willingness to give everything for the man that makes their death all the more unsettling. They leave behind an ominous and visually appealing ghost that leaves the player with a pit in their stomach, and their final cry doesn't provide a lot of comfort. Cause of death is often negligence on the part of the player, substantiating that the loyalty that Pikmin have is often misplaced. Samus was raised by the Chozo, and meeting one of their statues always came with a feeling of euphoria because it meant a brand new upgrade. In the original Metroid Prime for GameCube, meeting the Chozo wasn't as welcoming of an experience. They tried to kill you, quite vehemently. Because of the way they move around and disappear, they can be a pretty annoying enemy. They become much easier to defeat after acquiring the X-ray visor, which is often the most impractical item in the game. But it does look cool. I truly love Pokemon. I've played it for years and years, and I've Eevee and Ivy raised my Pokemon for hundreds of hours, and through it all, Ghost-type Pokemon stand as by far my favorite typing. I like Gengar. The guy is just cool. He's laughing because he knows his special attack is better than ours. Duskull is another fantastically designed Mon, and I truly believe that Mimikyu is the best new Pokemon in years. Lavender Town is creepy and cool and provides some of the most emotional storytelling the mainline games have seen. I feel like the UK-inspired region and Sword and Shield have a lot of potential for brand new and exciting Ghost-type Pokemon, and I really hope I'm right. The Legend of Zelda franchise has had a massive impact on me. Ocarina of Time changed my life in a profound way in the late 90s, and Breath of the Wild is one of the most amazing works of art I've ever experienced. The resident ghosts in the series are called Poes, and maybe the most impressive thing about them is the sheer amount of times they've reinvented themselves. From the Poe sisters in the Forest Temple to the collection side quest in Twilight Princess that's every bit as eerie as their overall design, to the main boss of Wind Waker's Earth Temple, an area that, for a lot of kids that grew up with the GameCube, pinpoints the answer to the question, when did your anxiety first start? Just like the series itself, Poes have consistently reinvented themselves, with consistent success. I think that the number one spot is a fairly obvious one. Boos are the main ghosts of Nintendo's flagship and most successful franchise. They made their debut in Super Mario Bros. 3, and they've been in almost every mainline and spin-off game since. There are quite a few variations of Boos, and quite a few cherished individuals, like the Spooky Speedster in Mario Galaxy and King Boo from Luigi's Mansion, but my all-time favorite is Bo from the original Paper Mario. She's the fanciest and greatest sidekick in the game. Her overall design is great, and her slap attack never ever gets old. Boos are fantastic and loved for a plethora of reasons. Truly, they've crept their ways into our hearts while we weren't looking. Except we were looking, because we love them. How could we not? Thank you for watching this video, and if you'd like to see me be successful and create more poorly designed videos, please subscribe and click like. That'd be fantastic, and I love you, and I'm not above begging.